And we are now live. So this is a special one-on-one session with me, the kind and benevolent DM who normally would play Darwin, except he's not here, because this is just Inez. All by herself. Because she's dumb.
She's actually quite smart, just dragon.
There is a difference between intelligence and wisdom.
I have lots of wisdom, no charisma, lots of wisdom, but dragon.
Okay, there is a difference between having wisdom and using it.
Yes.
Although maybe it was all just a critical failure on a will save.
Yep.
Okay, so I have Michelle here with me. This is a special one-on-one session that we are doing so that we can figure out what's going to happen before the rest of the party gets to this room. So that we know what they end up having to face. Michelle plays Inez, our local svirfneblin.
Yep. A.k.a. Trogdor the Burninator.
I haven't had to say what she is in a while because she hasn't been here, because lo and behold, she decided to leave the rest of the party. Haven't you ever heard don't split the party?
I think it was mentioned, but I ignored it.
And it is usually considered to be more than just kindly advice, you know.
I know. And yet, this is so much more entertaining.
So, we rewind time, you know, back through the past couple of battles that we've had while the rest of the party has been making their way down, back to the evening when everybody failed, well, mostly failed, their perception checks to supposedly see if the kobolds noticed them, but actually was to see if they noticed Inez sneaking off in the night. So I imagine that at some point during the night, she decided to, for whatever reason, just go check on the pit.
Yup.
And we know that she successfully made it out, so how about you tell us precisely what happened?
Well, Inez, once everybody was asleep, thought that she was just gonna go look in the dragon pit, because, you know, nothing could really happen if she just looks at the dragon pit, right? Like, maybe there'll be some clue as to what's down there, and then she can explain to the rest of the party why we don't need to go kill the dragon.
Because she's still hoping to convince the rest of the party that death and destruction is not necessary.
Yep. Because this is what happens when you get an oracle that's blessed by a dragon.
First off, you get dragged to the tower to begin with.
Yup. And besides, she did drag them all off to the tower to find this dragon. It would be remiss of her to not get as much information as she could.
So she made her merry way through the still gore-spattered room where we had killed all the kobolds and everything, through the secret door, and into the room where the deactivated Beyblade of Doom was sitting in the corner, with one smashed coffin, and the other one glowing lightly, showing you the way. Lighting the room for you.
Inez is not at all interested in mushroom spirits, or whatever spirits were in those coffins, and ignores them.
They're useful, they're light. So from the large pit that you're standing by comes up the acrid smell of a dragon.
Alright, sorry, I was not Yes, I wasn't trying to do anything. I was trying to get my rolling things into the chat, so I don't have to keep my. I can't. Sorry, my mother is texting me.
It's okay.
Wait, sorry guys. Real life intrudes upon game sometimes. Alright, I am now going to attempt to roll perception. I mean, I know dragon, but
So, back history. How many dragons has she run into other than hers?
She's probably run to hers and maybe like a drake or two because she did live underground, but hers mostly.
And how much would she know about? Has she done like extreme study on different kinds of dragons and their most likely habitats and feeding habits? And
she's probably done a cursory, just, dragons are this way, and then focused her research on the type of dragon she'd been blessed by.
And what type?
I have to look up what Esterinian is again, but Esterinian is not a particularly terrifying dragon. I mean, she's terrifying just like because she's a dragon, but she's chaotic neutral and she just kind of likes to wander around and investigate things.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's a mostly benign, I won't say harmless, but benign dragon.
Do you know what kind? Color?
I'm looking at that right now. It's a brass dragon.
Brass, okay. Well, it's definitely the smell of dragon. And maybe you hear some movement. You're not sure if you can tell enough to tell if whatever kind of dragon it is moving around or in it, You're just too far up. You smell dragon. It smells strongly of dragon.
I keep leaning over the pit, like further and further over the pit.
If you get closer, you can smell better.
Yes, exactly. And so, at some point, my foot actively slips because I have leaned so far out over the pit trying to see better.
And you have low light vision or dark vision?
Dark vision, and insane amounts of it. I have 120 feet of it.
Okay, so let me look at one thing since it's that far down. How deep is this? Okay, so since you have that far, you can see somewhere between 30 to 50 feet down there. You see water. What looks like water.
Okay. Give me 1 second, because I am looking for something. I know that sounds so helpful.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going through my traits right now because I have some weird ones when I'm underground, and I am underground. God, I have so much weird saving throws.
If this, then this.
Yes, and also, like, I am very not good at hitting things, but goddamn am I hard to hit with anything. Is that a spell? I don't like those. Does this require a will save? Ha 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 ha! Sorry, it's a little ridiculous. I'm just trying to read all the things. Oh, I have magic that I forgot I had.
It's kind of a useful thing, though.
I know, right? I have something called svirfneblin magic. Svirfneblin also gains the following spell-like abilities. Constant non-detection, 1 per day blindness and deafness, blur, disguise self, and the caster level equals the svirfneblin's class levels.
Hold on just 1 second, I'm gonna go turn the laundry back around.
That's fine.
turn.
Alright, awesome. I doubt I'm going to meet any dwarves down here.
You never know.
Although, I do get a +1 on my attack rolls against humanoid creatures of the reptilian and dwarf subtypes. So, you know, those kobolds I might have actually been able to hit.
Too bad you disappeared before we fought most of them.
Yes, but I cannot find my damn ability that I'm looking for. Where the hell? There. Okay. Okay, awesome. Sorry. Remember, I still +2 on perception check to don't work.
I missed part of that. +2 on something.
Just by passing by it. On noticing unusual stonework within 10 feet of me. I get a...
Okay, that was a lot of glitching. I think we're still glitching.
No!
Testing?
Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
It seems to be back to normal. So +2 unusual stonework. And what else?
When I pass within 10 feet of it, I get an automatic check.
Okay.
Not that
I'll keep
it
that in
super
mind
matters.
in case it applies. It probably won't.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
Yeah. The other room, it could apply, but you're not there.
Yep, I know. Okay, anyways, I'm going to say I actively slip and attempt to fall down. I start falling down the hole. I'm going to roll my fly.
Okay.
Because I think Inez would attempt to save herself from it.
Okay.
I think she'd continue going down the hole, but, you know.
It's like, oh no, I am falling down the hole. Well, roll to confirm that.
I literally fall down the hole.
Okay, so you did not confirm the crit fail, but you are definitely falling.
Yup.
Let me think. How do I want to handle this? How fast does somebody fall? I guess that determines. Let me check real quick. How fast do you fall? Because that determines whether I give you another fly check. Or not. You might be happy that there's water down there.
Yep.
How fast?
9.8 meters per second. If you're going by gravity.
And the round is 6 seconds. Technically, kind of, if we... Well, roll me a reflex save, and that will help me decide.
Okay. Give me a second, because that is one of the things I didn't actually put up yet, so...
Roll again to confirm! This is a great beginning.
No, hopefully I get it all out of the way now.
Okay, so you don't critically fail your reflex save, but you do fail.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it doesn't matter how fast you fall. You're falling as if it was one of the other party. You don't get another fly check.
Yay!
So, let me see what I'm rolling.
Oh, God.
Okay. 2. Okay, you take 11 points of fall damage as you splash down into a pool of...
I have a question.
Yes.
Do I actually get to see my character at some point? Or
Oh,
I
yeah.
just get to...
Well, actually, you were technically still up on the... You were in the middle of the pit. Now you're splashing down in the water. I will put you into place.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm already half dead. I just want you to know that.
Well, fighting is not the way to handle the dragon anyways. He could kill you in one round, probably. Okay, so you face plant into a large pool of water. What's the word that I'm thinking? It's not acrid, it's stagnant. It's a stagnant lake of water. So essentially what I'm saying is it smells really bad.
Ugh.
And you
Thank God I'm tiny.
Yeah. You take 11 points of fall damage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like fall curse splat. It's only 2 feet of water, but you make a very dramatic entrance causing splash.
I see this.
And by the time you get the water out of your face and, you know, kind of sit up and clear it, you are face to face
with a dragon.
Mm-hmm. What you see before you, there's really only 2 things in this room. There's the pool of water that you're sitting and dripping in, and there is a relatively young-looking black dragon. Which now makes sense why the scent was so strong, because they're a little more, you know, they have kind of a fetid smell to them. Especially when they make... The room is very roughly... It looks like they were starting to rough out a room and then stopped for whatever reason. The tower didn't go out this way. Maybe it was the next place they were going to start construction in. But you've got this lake of water that they never drained, and the walls are rough hewn. Some of them are tool marks, some of them are claw marks. So obviously he's been widening it so that it's easier for him to get around.
Okay. I rolled a 31 perception. Does that gain me any more information?
Kind of up here. There's a couple of alcoves on the wall, and there's... In the alcoves you see a couple of rag-wrapped bundles. Looks like maybe 3 of them. But that isn't very important to you because there is a dragon staring at you, and if it looks like it, if dragons were able to raise one eyebrow in curious amusement, it is probably would be doing so.
Inez, unable to get away from this, just goes, oops.
And the dragon just kind of tilts his head to one side and he goes, "Well now, I didn't order lunch brought in, but what falls from the sky can be useful."
Inez, like, I am not a great lunch. I'm burnt, and I'm really tiny.
Yes, I can see you would hardly be more than a mouthful. Maybe a toothpick rather than.
Yes, and, on top of that, I think you're really, really awesome. I mean, not the wanting to eat me bit, but, like, dragons in general, really cool.
I have heard that before, but it's usually in more of an, oh god, please don't eat me, I am flattering you to try and fool you while my companions sneak up behind you sort of way.
Inez raises her, like, burnt arms, and she's like, do I look like I run away from dragons?
Technically, yes, because if you had met many dragons and acted the same way, you'd already be eaten. And not here for my amusement.
Oh, Michelle's brain is sitting there going, I don't know what to do. Inez is just kind of like, hi.
He kind of just is walking around the lake, watching you with a bit of confusion, maybe. Kind of, sort of, what even is this, and should I bother talking to it, or should I just eat it and have done with it? You are quite a tiny thing. I do wonder how you've gotten this far into my dungeon alive. Because I'm pretty sure I had some creatures upstairs to prevent people from coming down this far.
And you probably shouldn't put holes in your ceiling.
But they were between the entrance and the room with the hole in the ceiling, plus they didn't even know about it. There's a secret door up there, after all, which I assume you have found since you are, he gestures with one claw, here.
Well, I mean, obviously, but why do you need creatures to be between you and anything if you're clearly awesome, so
I don't...
What are the creatures for?
I don't much care for attempted flattery. I would suggest you refrain from too much of it.
I'm not flattering you, I'm just stating the obvious.
Still comes across as sycophantic flattering.
Look,
and I grow bored of it.
I'm sorry. I'm a dragon oracle. I can't help it. I really just think dragons are cool. I want to know more about them. And unfortunately, I wasn't trying to invade. I was just trying to find out what you were like. I didn't even plan to fall through the ceiling. I was just kind of, looking through the hole.
I do notice you haven't answered my previous question, though, of how did you get there in the first place, considering that there were orcs and kobolds and all kinds of things that I don't think one of your stature and abilities would be able to get past. Who have you led into my lair, small creature?
I'm a svirfneblin. Not that anybody can pronounce it.
Svirfneblin. Now answer my question.
Well, I had some friends who wanted to, adventure and go around and, they're not always the best at things, but they did get me far enough to investigate what was, I thought a dragon hole, which, again, I'd like to tell you that A, they're not particularly interested in you, I am, and B, I didn't intend to fall through the ceiling.
So you have adventuring companions?
Yes. But you knew that,
Yes. But you have confirmed.
Of course. I'm really actually not here to lie to you, and to be perfectly frank, I'm not really good at it.
I can tell.
Exactly. So, I just wanted to find out more about you, and preferably not as your toothpick, but I promise you I will give you a great big running away face at that point, because I'm this big. and in a pool of water.
Well, I don't think I would care for you to run away, because then you can go tell your companions that, oh yes, indeed, there is a dragon. And you may not care to attack me, but anytime there's an adventuring party in the general area of a dragon, there tends to be foolish adventurers that like to try and take them out.
So I've got a question for you. You just don't want to be attacked, right? Like, by adventuring parties.
I have a great many things that I like, but that is one that I prefer.
Right. And my adventuring party would probably like to not be killed by you. So, in the interests of everybody not being bothered, do you think I could just say hello to you and leave? Because the only reason they're here is because I really wanted to see a dragon.
So you think that having been in here, and if I let you walk away, your friends will just be like, okay, let's go, and they will not go any further than that?
Well, the only thing they know about this place is that you're here, and the only reason that they think that's interesting is because I kind of scream dragon every time someone mentions it. So I told you, I'm really not good at lying.
Indeed. He kind of leaps across the lake and lands over here. Just happens be between you and the exit.
Inez is still just sitting there because she's figuring if worst comes to worst, she'll get through 5 rounds of just sitting somewhere because it's like 30 seconds and then become a pile of rocks somewhere in this cave.
Yeah.
So she's kind of like, it really is the best plan, like, no flattery, nothing aside, to let me go tell them that, because of course, I suppose if you kill me, that you might be able to kill them, but they're probably going to be more angry at you if you do that. So if you don't want adventuring parties trying to kill you, killing me is probably not the best version of that.
I'm finding you irritating enough that I would think that maybe they'd thank me for killing you.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. A great deal.
Would you prefer that I stopped? Because I'm literally, I don't know what you want.
Why are you here?
Can I answer?
I asked.
I came because I wanted to find out more about dragons. I've only ever met one who burned me and turned me into a dragon oracle, so I'm really good at burninating small villages. But I don't know much about them, and I hate to say it, but living in a small cave underground is not a great opportunity to find out any more. So I came to find out more about dragons, and as you are a dragon, it seems logical.
After that kind of introduction to dragons, I'm surprised that you're interested in meeting more.
Well, I'm not exactly certain how to use all the things I can do, and the burned hands are weird and not painful, but very kind of difficult for throwing stuff, so I had to get really good at magic.
I can take care of those for you if you'd like. Big toothy grin.
I'm sure you could, but that, again, will not help the adventuring party problem.
Honestly, if they're all about the same... You smell rather new at adventuring. I don't think I'd have much trouble with them.
Just because...
After all, they have ventured into my lair.
I've got a question. Do you just, like, want to have a fight? Is that it? Is that the thing that dragons like?
It can be entertaining.
Okay, so then the whole avoiding adventurers is pointless.
I'm merely having a discussion with you, apparently.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to understand. I mean, just because people are new at adventuring doesn't mean they aren't strong. It's just that they don't have a whole lot of experience at it yet. And I mean, how would you recommend I find out about dragons? I'm willing to defer to your expertise.
Not face planting into their lair might be a good start.
Well, to be fair, I wasn't planning on face planting, and technically I can sort of fly, so, you know, I had intended to stay up there.
How entertaining.
Yeah, I was an alchemist. The whole getting burnt thing kind of changed my life career.
Well, how about you begin by getting out of the water? You're dripping everywhere, and it's kind of distracting. You can at least go over there and dry off. He hasn't immediately killed you, so this is going relatively well.
Okay. I don't think this is my character, because I cannot click on it.
Did I get the wrong person? Maybe so. Let me pull you out.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I was like, I will move it, but I can't.
Let's try that. Can you select that one?
Nope.
Oh, it is yours. I just didn't connect it to you.
Okay, sorry.
There's a represents character thing. Does that work now?
Got it. Yep. So Inez gets out over here. Not that she thinks it'll do anything. She's just kind of like backing up and drying off and dragging.
Yep, he kind of does a graceful leap across the water and settles down, kind of gracefully folding his limbs and settling down to sit. So you wanted to ask questions. I will give you a few moments of my time. You are strangely entertaining, if irritating.
I've been told that I swear if I get out of this alive, I will work on my people skills. Or dragon skills. Whichever.
He just blinks at you.
Alright, hang on 1 second. Hit pause on this while I look at my character sheet, okay?
Okay.
Inez is not actually being silent, but I am looking at stuff. Yeah, I don't think trying to okay. I should have created armor before I came in here, but I didn't think about it because I forgot I had that spell, even though we talked about it. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry, this is so much I haven't really had to use for any reason.
Mm-hmm. So far, he's just... It's been rather dull lately, so he is willing to give you some of his time just because you're odd enough to be entertaining.
Yup.
He is fully planning to kill you in a few minutes when he grows bored of you.
And tomorrow, I might just kill you. Yeah, I know. Alright. I want to roll a knowledge check while I'm here.
Okay.
Or what Inez knows about things.
Okay.
Look at my skills to figure out which knowledge would be the most applicable to this. Alright. Given that Inez has a very basic knowledge of dragons and more specific knowledge about her dragon, okay, what would she roll to figure out what she knows about how to placate / entertain a dragon kind of thing?
Let me look at... Let's go knowledge nature, maybe?
Okay.
In sort of a without having any specific knowledge about specific kinds of dragons, it's more of a, how do I deal with a large predator?
Fair enough. I mean, she's doing okay with her small, helpless, and entertaining kind of thing, but
yeah.
Nope. I know nothing.
Big teeth, kind of distracting, hard to think.
Okay, and then I want to roll a knowledge arcana about, because it's a dragon, so essentially about its spell resistances, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Better. Not great, but better.
So, very obviously this is a black dragon. You can tell that just by sight. Resistances. It is particularly robust against acidic damage.
Okay.
And probably deals it as well.
Okay. Inez is going to ask how many types of dragons there are, because obviously her dragon is a brass dragon, this is a black dragon. She's never seen... She knows that there are different types of dragons, but not, like...
So, essentially, she's trying to get into a conversation about basic dragon knowledge.
Yes,
or lore.
Because he said that he'd answer some questions about dragons, and she's interested, like, genuinely interested. If she's annoying, she is at least kind of... But really, just tell me. I want to know all the things.
Okay, so roll a diplomacy check.
Oh god, okay.
Plus 5.
Please don't die, please. Okay. So 13.
So he was contesting with sense motive to make sure that you're not just blathering at him to distract him while the rest of the party comes in. You know, that you haven't been lying to him this whole time.
Right.
And as you're blathering on at him, and he's just kind of listing off things in a dry way, he's like, oh my gosh, she is literally just here for information.
She's like,
how stupid can one creature be?
Yep.
I don't think her party even knows she's down here. What a moron, basically.
I know. And yet she's so adorable with her big heart eyes, like... But if I die today, this will be so entertaining.
And he's just like, she is honestly just a dragon fangirl. I had heard that these existed, but I have never run into any before. This is strange. Do I eat it, or do I let it keep babbling? So he's gonna let this actually go on for quite a while. I'm gonna say for 15 or 20, 25 minutes or so, he's willing to answer basic questions about dragons. Anything that's about, like, weaknesses, he'll just change the subject.
Right.
Or just grin toothily and be like, next question, kind of thing. But at the end of this, consider yourself with a fairly thorough basic knowledge of all the different colors of dragons, what types they are, He's been rather thin with details about black dragons, of course. Other than that, they kind of prefer swamps. But he's willing to tell you about all of the other kinds.
Right.
Although,
understood.
for most of the, let's see, is it the metallic dragons? He obviously does not care for most of them. And so it's all flavored with kind of his prejudices. And in fact, it seems he doesn't like most of the other dragons. You can also almost see him sneering as he's talking about several of them.
Right.
But he doesn't fall into the villain trope of, I'm going to tell you about how amazing black dragons are by telling you every single detail. He avoids that trope.
Does he look away for 30 seconds of time?
At a block?
Yes.
No, he's keeping his eye on you just in case. He may glance at the entrance once in a while, but only a brief, maybe 5 seconds at the most.
Give me a second, because I may need some DM help here, and if it can't be done, that's okay. I don't care. Alright, if I wanted to convince him that there was some sort of ruckus by the entrance.
Okay.
Okay, what would you want out of me?
How would you go about doing it?
This is what I'm trying to decide.
Would you be like, oh, look at that thing over there?
No, I'm not certain that I would. I wanted to pull up I'm not certain if I could pull up the spell without him noticing, and it would be a very obvious spell, so that would not be helpful. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm going. No, get out of my cantrips.
You know, it'd be really entertaining is if you do find a way to distract him and, like, fly up the pit or something. Then
yes, I know.
Then you go charge back and you're like, hey guys, where are you guys?
Yeah, I know. Hang on a second. Alright. Could I, sleight of hand, throwing one of my... God, too far away now to do that exactly. Throwing one of my Bernie things anywhere else in the cave. Sorry.
I'll let you try it. The other thing, if you're too far away, you could, if you wanted to roll for it, we could see if at some point you could convince the dragon, because this area is a little bit flatter and better developed than this area, just because he spends more time over here. Mm-hmm. So it would be more comfortable over there for both you and him. So you can try to convince him to have moved over there so that you're closer to wherever you're trying to throw your thing, if you need to.
I'm just trying to create a distraction that makes him look away from me for like 30 seconds.
Okay. Up to you. However you'd like to do it. I'll allow the sleight of hand to try to throw it.
Okay. I'm going to try it. Please. Yes! Thank God.
Well, regardless, you're going to throw it. The thing is if he's going to notice you doing so.
Yes.
He may not. Hold on, let me roll this to confirm. That would be a crit fail on his part.
Yes! So, I throw the thing, hopefully at something that has some burning qualities to it. If it doesn't, the potion burns anyway, you know what I mean? Just
before you do that, hold on. The reason he does not notice is because you've been blathering on for this 20 or so minutes. He's actually starting to, like, zone out. His eyes are half closed because you're boring him to sleep. But you just keep going on and on and on, and there's, like, no pause for a breath, except for when you stop for an answer, so you're like, blah, 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 and he's like, this, and you're like, blah, 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 and before he has a chance to recover and be like, oh, she stopped, once again, blah, 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 and he's like, oh my gosh, she keeps going. It's like some form of roboticized bunny.
So, the potion goes off elsewhere.
Where are you throwing it?
I'm going to say that I'm going to throw it that way-ish towards his little thing.
Where he's sort of got a little scooped out,
yes,
I'm a lay here spot.
Right. So it becomes more pressing that he might need to investigate it.
Okay, so you throw it over there.
Yep.
There's a crash, and then there's a flare of fire.
Yes.
So he kind of
Then he
jerks back full awake, and he's like, and he snarls, gives you a suspicious glare, but leaps over here to check it out.
Yes.
Because he's got like potion bottles and things that he's had in the past, and he's like, is there one over here that I forgot that like fell over and went off?
Yes.
And you're tiny, and you're a long ways from the exit, so...
Yes. Are there any, like, rock piles where I am?
There's some pretty much all over. This is a very rough hewn... It's more like a natural cave that they just didn't really do anything with yet.
Alright. I'm going to sit there and turn into a pile of rocks.
I would suggest you move a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got the thing out. Alright, I will go into a pile of rocks and sit there.
So he's like rummaging around over in his stuff over here, and he's like... And then he finds like the shards of the bottle, and he's like, I don't remember this one.
Yep.
Strange. And then... So there's been plenty of time for you to turn into a pile of rocks. And he turns around, and he goes... Could have sworn that thing was right here.
I'm a fantastic hallucination.
So he'll rummage around. Just so that I have something for him to roll against. Do a stealth plus 10.
Okay. Give me a sec. Yes. So...
He's like...
That's a 29 plus 10, which is a 39.
He's like, what even? And he's so, like literally walking around. Probably steps right next to you. Whoops.
Inez is just like, nope.
Stalking around the cave, leaping into the water, swimming through it, snarling, sounding extremely irritated now. Because what? How did that irritating thing manage to sneak away from him? Now, shortly after that, a pair of kobolds just run in a dead run. I mean, just like skedaddle into here, and they're like panting and sounding panicked, and they're like, Scarthalarn! Scarthalarn! And he's like, and he just turns on, what? Because he's supremely irritated by now, and they're like, should we come back? And he's like, no. Comes up right in their business, and they're like, we're kind of under attack. There's a party of adventurers a couple of rooms down, and they have corrupted one of ours and killed everybody, pretty much. And he's like, then why are you here telling me about it? You should still be there fighting or dead. We wanted to... He, like... While they're trying to babble and explain it, he just snarls. And calmly... as they're trying to make excuses, he just kind of rears up a little bit, and where is it on his thing? There we go. Oh yeah, that definitely hits them. Kills them both with a flare. As you're watching, it's like acidic breath that flares out and kind of just melts them both where they stand. And he's like, I cannot get any useful help around here. And he just snarls.
This poor dragon.
He's very irritated. Harul is supposed to keep people from bothering me personally. Why can't he hire any useful help whatsoever? You just cannot expect better things from a mage, can you? And he's just, like, grumbling to himself and muttering, trying to figure out what...
Inez is now, his ears have perked up. Harul? A mage? What the fuck? She, of course, is not doing anything, because if she goes anywhere, she ceases to be a pile of rocks.
He, stares thoughtfully down the tunnel. It's too small for him to get through. So he looks around one last time and just kind of laughs. I know you're in here somewhere, small svirfneblin. I don't know how you managed to hide. But there is only one escape from the tower. He just kind of grins. I will find you. And you'll be a delicious appetizer for when I eat you and your friends. He flaps up the pit. It's a tight squeeze, but he does manage to get out of there. And he's gone.
So he leaves the... Inez waits a bit, checks up the ceiling that he's not just, you know, sitting there waiting for her to move. I'm gonna roll a perception. It's not fantastic, but it's not terrible.
You can't see up the pit itself, but he's not on the top of the ceiling, you know, the roof in here. You can't tell if he's in the pit. But you don't hear anything. You don't, you know, no scrabble of claws, no...
I will wait another 5 minutes just sitting there, because as much as she is a dumb shit who fell down this hole, she is not completely idiotic.
It's like, patience, patience, waiting, patience.
I can't burninate the damn thing, so I will sit here. Besides, I learned so much today.
Yeah, you have basic knowledge about dragons, and you have a hint of what else may be in the...
Yup.
And you know there is a dragon, and he is now apparently between all of you guys and the exit.
Yep.
Perhaps.
1 second, I gotta go for a minute, okay?
Okay.
I returned, sorry.
Welcome back.
Had to go let my mom in.
It's okay.
Alright, so, after waiting 5 minutes,
Nothing happens.
Yep, Inez is gonna roll a stealth check.
Okay.
22.
Okay.
And she's going to go over here to his corner.
Okay.
And percept what he said was in those, where you said there were 3 bundles over there.
Yes. Let me pull up. One bundle has a potion of healing and 40 gold.
Okay.
One bundle has two gems. And let me check real quick. I need to know how much certain gems are worth. There is a fairly large piece of garnet, which is worth 100 gold. And there is an extremely nice piece of like rock crystal that is worth 100 gold.
Okay.
And
I wish
there's 90 gold in that one.
Okay.
And there's a third one back behind the other two. There it is, wrapped in some rags, and inside of that is a very, well, not a very old, but a rather old piece of leather made into a loose sort of bag. You know, looks kind of like the thing that dragon claws would be able to make, an attempt to make a bag. And there is an egg.
Okay! Inez is definitely taking the egg, but after we do a detect magic spell.
Okay.
On this area, she's looking for detect magic. And I will find out what my sheet says about that silly spell. Because I only occasionally use it. Spell. Cantrip. Detect magic. I detect spells and magic items within 60 feet.
Just a sec.
It's okay. I just don't want to, summon the dragon because I touched his shit. As I said, Inez is a very specific kind of dumb.
No.
Okay.
There doesn't really appear to be any. I mean, there's some flickering traces that maybe is like there used to be spells here, but nothing active.
Alright. Then Inez... Sorry. Then Inez is gonna try and take the shit, because she's already done her perception check, and she's looked for magic.
Inez takes the shit.
Awesome!
Nothing seems to happen.
Inez is gonna go with the shit this way.
The egg is relatively, I mean, I don't think full on, well, maybe about ostrich. How big are those? Carryable. Easily carryable, but definitely large.
Oh, Inez is also, before she leaves this cave, going to drink the potion of healing.
Okay. I think that's 1d8. Hold on.
This is the most bizarre way to come back with treasure, I'm just saying.
They're gonna, like, skid around the corner and be like, we're coming to save you! And she'll be like, hi, guys.
Yep.
1d8 plus 1.
Okay. How did you escape the dragon? I talked it to death.
Not to death, just to boredom.
Yep.
And, oh, by the way, it may still be out there. And it's not happy.
Nope. But to be fair, I was not the one who... I mean, I made it sort of unhappy by vanishing, but I didn't, like, piss it off or anything. I just kind of vanished.
Okay, so there is probably where we're going to end it. Because what the party does next determines what happens.
Sweet!
It will probably be... It kind of depends on what direction they go. You guys may miss each other entirely.
Yep.
We'll just have to see. So that is the end of the one-on-one session.
What was that mage's name so I can write it down?
It was... Hareel. Hareel.
Okay, I'm gonna jump that in this chat here. So
he, apparently is supposedly working for Svirfneblin.
Right.
You heard the dragon's name thanks to the kobolds.
Yep.
Hareel is a human mage, who's the one that hired all the kobolds.
Cool. I'm just gonna... Yeah. Got it. Black dragon, acidic, came away with basic knowledge of dragons, no specific weaknesses, but in fairness to me, I also survived a conversation with a dragon through sheer stupidity.
Blathering.
Yup. And one really nice bluff check.
Yeah?
Well, sleight of hand check.
Mostly because he failed his perception.
Hey, it counts still. I rolled 18 on a no modifier.
If he'd noticed you throw it, you would not have gotten out quite so easily.
Nope. But I did. And if I died, I wouldn't have cared. As I said, I would still build the bard and be like, okay, what the fuck, guys?
If we ever want to have like a one session break from the main party, we could have a backup party.
Yeah.
The bard has gotten together a bunch of friends to follow the main group. That'd be pretty entertaining too. Anyway,
I feel sorry for this bard, because if it came in as like, alright, so your svirfneblin fell, mind you, didn't like dramatically charge in, fell down the dragon hole and board it. That's what you want me to sing about.
And this creature that has flying abilities, sort of, it couldn't seem to remember how to fly.
Yes. And then you adopted a drake, and your druid fell in love with a kobold.
And he's just like, how do I even begin to lyricize this?
Yeah, this is what you want. Alright, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm having fun.
I could actually see the bard in the future becoming a villain. He's like, damn it, I want to have a proper adventure to write about, so I'm going to make sure it happens.
That's fantastic. He and Urs Trump teaming up.
Yep. And with that, I will stop the recording.
With that, Inez walked away with all of the treasure accidentally.
Yeah, a big chunk of it. Alright, turning off the recording now. Say farewell, world.
Bye, world. We didn't get to burninate the village tonight.